All right, I got a free hour or so to work on this thing. So I got it jacked up as high as I could. I could have gone higher, but I got it pretty high, enough that I need. Put the wheels off. I went ahead and got this side, this coil and shock out. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the arms off. I'm probably just gonna drag the axle in there into the garage until we're ready to continue. Like I said, this is supposed to be a 4.5 inch lift, but since he had the rear shackles on it already, 2-inch drops, it's 6 in the rear, and he got coil spacers to make the front match the rear, but he's on vacation and didn't leave me the spacers, so I'm kind of at a disassembly point, which I was getting the shocks and springs from this anyways to throw on mine, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. So I figured I'm going to go ahead and just get this one disassembled. That way we can clean it up, do what we need to do, and get to cutting on them brackets off. As much as they suck to do, they're going to have to. As you see, he's already got extended brake lines. Already had control arms. It was a decent lift. The problem was it was just shot. The bracket there that goes in between there to hold the control arm from moving forward back broke and has been broke, and it just allowing the axle to shift. It's just all wore out. The previous owner really never took care of this thing, so it's been very neglected. But we're gonna go ahead and put the new lift on it, and this thing should drive pretty dang good afterwards. Like I said, I was hoping to get the front done, but he didn't leave me the coil spacers. So, oh well, it is what it is. I can at least get the axle out, because I need to just go ahead and pull the control arms anyway, so I'll just put the axle in the garage, take the steering off real quick, and be done from there. That way we can get in here clean and do whatever we need to, or I'll just leave the axle right here on the ground. As you can see, it's got RCVs, diff cover, it's geared, locked in the front and rear. So I mean, it's beat up, but this thing definitely works. So we're gonna go ahead and get the other side pulled off, and probably even throw the transfer case back up in there. As you see, I got the SYE on it. It's all done. It just needs fluid to go back in and throw it back in. We were waiting on the transmission mount, but then I remembered I have one from the black one when I was going to rebuild that thing. So I have a transmission mount, so I don't have to wait on him to bring me that. So I can go ahead and at least try to get the cross member up. But this thing, we're not going to go wheeling anytime soon, or he's not, until it cools off, so there's no rush. So tomorrow I'm going to get these springs, clean them up a little bit, maybe even paint them, get the shocks, and I'm going to throw them on mine, because these are 4.5 inch coils, where mine's a 3-inch coil, so it should get rid of my droop in the front, and the shocks, that way it will actually flex out, because right now them 3-inch shocks don't flex worth crap. But this should be good, fun. We're gonna get to it. I'm gonna go ahead and get this other side pulled apart, and I'll either come back to you today, show an update, or tomorrow when I go to do mine. Probably what I'll end up doing on mine is unbolting the shock, taking it out, go flex up on that other Jeep and let the coil spring fall out. I don't know, I haven't got that far yet, so we'll see. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start jacking mine up and get the shocks and springs swapped over. The way I can have it leveled out. Because the problem I'm having right now is, even though I've cut my control arm brackets off, it still doesn't sit high enough, so every time I come down and bounce, it bounces and hits right there every time. So I need to go up anyways. This long arm's supposed to be 4.5 and up anyways, so technically this is at 4, but with all the weight of the bumper and winch, it's right about, yeah, 4. So we'll get it all swapped over and get it jacked up. See how much droop this thing's got with the shock off of it. All right, I didn't film swapping them over because it's pretty straightforward. Loosen your shock, lower it down as much as you can, pop it out, pop it in, throw it back together. It's easier with the long arm because it droops down more. I'm not happy with the flex. I mean, I am. I didn't really do this for the flex of this long arm. That is a benefit, but just the ride quality is what I really went for. But having the stock steering still on it really limits my flex on it, at least sitting here on the ground, because it just doesn't have enough swing into it to really droop them out. But I have everything else for it. I got the track bar, long arms, brake lines, taller shocks, 4.5-inch springs with the inch spacer, so I should be at 5.5 in the front, 4.5 in the rear. If I need to level the rear out anymore, I have blocks that I can put under the rear to level them out. But I'm gonna go ahead and, I got my hockey pucks back in. I'm gonna go ahead and zip tie them so they don't fly out, put it back on its wheels and see how it sits. As long as it sits more level, that's all I care about. But let me get the zip ties in, the tires back on, put it on the ground, I'll come back to you. All right, I came right across the street just to flex it out a little bit. As you can see, it's not completely stuffed. It's up there, but it's not stuffed all the way yet. But I'm just trying to see what my next limiting stuff is. I left the rear sway bar on, as you know, to try to keep it out of the tire as much as possible until I go up 2 more inches. But it's got pretty good droop. Shock's limiting right now. Also steering. Again, this is plenty of flex. I mean, that's chopped off pretty good and the body's still pretty dang flat. So it's good enough for the ride quality. I mean, this tire right here is chest high, about waist high to me, so it's stuffed. We're into the bumps also. As you can see, I'm into the bump, so I can also take more bump stop out now because I am taller. So I could take one of the hockey pucks out and get more, but completely aired up. I need to take a hockey puck out. But other than that, this thing flexes pretty good. I ain't complaining. That's about it. I'm just ready to go ride. We gotta wait till it cools off some. It's just too hot. But that's a quick update. Thanks, guys.